Hey everyone, Mark Hoy here from Lochbreda Parish Church. A question that's often asked in the midst of a crisis is, where is God? You Christians believe that Jesus is God, but where is Jesus in the midst of this crisis? Maybe you've wondered that over the last few days or weeks, and it makes sense. Hundreds are dying. Thousands are ill, millions are worried, help is needed, and when we look around, where is God in the midst of this crisis? The very last book of the Bible, the book of Revelation, tells us exactly where Jesus is today. And if you read the first two verses of the fourth chapter 4, verses 1 and 2, the writer's given a vision of where Jesus is today. It says this. It says, "After this I looked, and behold, a door standing open in heaven. And the first voice which I had heard speaking to me like a trumpet said, 'Come up here, and I will show you what must take place after this.' At once I was in the Spirit, and behold, a throne stood in heaven, with one seated on the throne." Where is God? Where is Jesus Christ in the midst of this crisis? He is seated on his throne. He isn't surprised by this. He isn't threatened by this. He isn't unnerved by this. He's enthroned over it all. You see, the Bible tells us that this same Jesus, he left the throne room of heaven to come down into this disease-ridden world. Why? He did it to free us from disease. The most serious disease of all, the disease of our sin. Because the Bible tells us that as Jesus Christ went to a cross and died for the sin of the world, and as he rose again from the grave, he ascended up into heaven, so that as he sits upon the throne from heaven, he reigns as Lord of it all. He's the Lord of every particle. He's the Lord of every person. He's the Lord of every virus and disease, because Jesus Christ today is the Lord enthroned over it all. So over the next few days and weeks, even the next few months, let's remember who Jesus is and where Jesus is. Let's ask him that as the Lord over everything, to save us from this disease. But even more importantly, let's ask him to save us from the disease of our sin. Because Jesus Christ, and only Jesus Christ, is enthroned as the Lord of all.